today.
Good morning and welcome back to White Mountains Today here on White Mountain TV 16. Joining us this morning is Chris Thayer from the Appalachian Mountain Club. How are you this morning, Chris?
I'm fine, Rob. Good morning.
Good morning. What a spectacular day outside today.
Gorgeous. I drove through Crawford Notch this morning and saw a ton of folks doing what I wished I was doing, which was heading to ski areas, heading to trailheads. It is a gorgeous, it's March coming a little bit early in February, which is sort of like a gift, especially with the snowpack that we have
Absolutely,
out there.
absolutely. Just spectacular days.
Yeah.
So, and we were talking just briefly before about, you mentioned the ski areas, you mentioned everything else, but let's talk about the Appalachian Mountain Club
Sure.
and all the things that you have this week, so many things, because, it's one of those weeks it might be, okay, we're skiing, we're doing all this great stuff, but wow, we're a little sensory
Taking a
overload,
break.
let's do something
Yeah.
else.
Yeah.
And great programs that you have.
Yeah. So we have two lodges located right here in the Mount Washington Valley in the White Mountains. Joe Dodge Lodge up in Pinkham Notch, right at the base of Mount Washington, and Tuckerman Ravine, and the Highland Center, Crawford Notch, right in Crawford Notch, right at the gateway there. And both, as you said, Rob, offer just a ton of activities this time of week. We recognize that it is a family week. So to break that up, we have obviously overnight lodging, but we also have programs for folks to stop in and take advantage of. Both locations offer sort of what we call Highland happenings and Pinkham happenings, daily schedules. And there's a lot happening during those happenings. There are daily notch walks and hikes. They could be in length from 1 to 3 hours. This time of year with that snowpack that I mentioned earlier,
Right.
a lot of great snowshoeing. We have the equipment. We put you on the snowshoes with our guides and naturalists and get you out there. We also have evening presentations, both family friendly and as well as something for mom and dad. And this week I know we have some expert presentations on mountain stars, winter, and this week, last night actually, was excellent to see some terrific constellations.
Yeah, bright,
so we
bright.
have some experts coming up both at Pinkham and at Highland Center this week on stars and astronomy. We also have some campfire programs with s'mores. I think there's a night hike tonight up in Highland Center, so a whole sort of variety of outdoor excursions.
That's great. And, I want to just touch base on the presentations. I've gone to, numerous presentations, different places, and I think a lot of people are like, oh, a presentation. They're not. They're so much fun because you have these people who have so much knowledge, and with the kids, what I love is the questions that the kids come up with. Yep. And you're like, I'm old. I never thought of that. And it's just, it's so much fun and so interactive. Yeah. So what a great thing to do at night. You want to come up with something, those are great things to do at night. Yep. And I bet that hike last night out under the stars was unbelievable.
It's beautiful this week. Yeah, absolutely. It's the weather is aligned well with us with all the snow that we received last week, just in time for this week. And like I mentioned, we have the gear in both locations to get you out on the trails, and the terrific guides and naturalists who are all extraordinarily busy this week. So those are our walk-on programs. We also have a variety of programs that are already booked solid this week that include the full package of meals, overnights, and all those activities, whether it's snow shelter building, whether it's snowshoeing, a bit of skiing, those sort of multi-sport programs. We have a lodge down in the Lakes region in Alexandria, New Hampshire, near Bristol, just off of I-93 at the base of Mount Cardigan, which is a terrific peak, even in the winter, to hike. It's excellent in the summer, but and there are two programs happening this week for the Wee Wanderer crowd, as we call them, 2 to 5 year olds with their parents. And so those activities are set up with those naturalists and guides where we get the kids out. But in that case, we plan a little bit of rest time in between, because sometimes 2 and 5 year olds, they need to re-energize for the next day or even the next activity in the afternoon. So those are going on. They're chock full this week at Cardigan Lodge. Farther north up here at Highland and Pinkham, we have programs for older kids, more camp programs, 5 to 12 with the adults, where they're going out and doing bigger excursions with mom and dad for the week. So it gives something a little different than than the alpine skiing that we have right up the road.
Right. And this is a great way for people to kind of get introduced to the AMC and all the programs that you have, because this is just a smatter. This is 1 week.
Just one
out
season.
Out of 52 weeks.
That's right. Yeah.
And so let's touch base on some of the incredible programs that you guys have already started planning and booking for the summer.
Yeah, we're always looking ahead. So we have on tap coming up this summer, we have a full slate of family adventure camps, and that spans the gamut from those We Wander summer versions, starting as soon as school gets out in June through July and August. We'll have camps at all 3 of these locations almost every week. A number of We Wander programs. We also have what are highly rated and very popular family hut adventures, where you might stay and start at one of these lodges, but then you set out immediately the next day and you go to places like Lakes of the Clouds Hut on Mount Washington, Mizpah Hut in the Southern Presidentials, and then we have a Hike Rock Rapids program, which we do in partnership with another great partner in the Valley, Great Glen Trails, who I know you've had on here, and we go climbing with Eastern Mountain Sports for a day. We do that hut overnight. We do some time on the river. It's a lot of fun. It's sort of the best of what this valley has to offer. If you're from away and you only have 3, 4, 5 days, this is one of the adventures.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Your kids will be tired every night, we promise.
There you go. There's a bonus.
There's
right
a bonus.
there.
That's right. Yeah, and that's packaged with those family style meals and everything in all those accommodations. So those trips are up and listed online now. If your kids happen to be older, 12 years old or older, and maybe they're kind of tired of going with mom and dad, you can set them up for a teen wilderness adventure. We have over 40 trips this summer, going from 5 to 22 days across the White Mountains into western Maine as well. So lots happening this summer as soon as the snow sort of melts away, which up here is sometimes May or June, but we turn on a dime and get ready for the summer.
Well, that sounds great. And if people want to get more information, the best thing is probably, well, the first thing we'll say is the website. I won't say it's the best thing because we're going to get to the best thing in a second.
Sure.
But the website, which is what?
Which is outdoors.org for the Appalachian Mountain Club for AMC. You can find right on the homepage lodging and activities, and our banner sort of gives the top messages of the moment. So right now there's some late winter messaging, but we're already starting to nod towards summer. So you can find that there. Give us a call, 603-466-2727. Our reservation staff can help as well.
Yeah, and I was going to say the best is just stop up and see these places. They're just, both the Highland Center and the Joe Dodge Center. I haven't been down to the Mount Corrigan, but I'd love to see that.
Yeah.
But you just walk in there and there's so much information. You could just spend an hour just looking at the posters and the information that's in there. Even in the bathrooms, there's great information about recycling and everything and water conservation. And really just talk to the people and really find out some programs that might be catered to what you want. So that's a great opportunity if you're swinging through one of those notches. And
I've worked for the club for almost 30 years, and I now have 2 boys who are, as you can probably imagine, very active outdoors, and they love coming, whether it's our playscape at the Highland Center or just the access to all the trails right outside of the lodges. And as you mentioned, Rob, just that cross current of people with their own adventures, the staff with their adventures, because, the staff might be behind the desk one day, but they have days off. And they do their outdoor adventures and bring those back to share with everybody as well.
And great dining up there too.
Fabulous dining,
So you can you can chat with people. You see these people who where are they in the middle of their trek?
All you can eat, multi-course, which you need at the end of a day. A lot of these activities. So
Absolutely.
We package it all together.
Well, Chris, thanks so much for coming by.
Thanks.
And I just want to point out too that you brought along some books.
Yep.
And these are just a smattering of the great AMC books that you have. And in my house, as we say, we have these books, and Hans is going to zoom in on these real quick here, because they're just a great source. And we talked about going online, but you carry this book with you, you pull it out, keep it in the car, whatever it is, and then you can find out great information. They're so well written too, which is one of the things that I really like, because I'm a timid adventurer.
Sure.
So I like having the information right in front of me and knowing how long a trail is going to be, what you might run into. Yeah. And I have several of the AMC hiking books
They're great.
And they are. They're great
You can
sources.
order them online. You can pick them up at White Birch
Birch
book sellers right here in North Conway, any fine bookstore. And they're terrific because, over 75 activities, 4-season activities. And they also have those best tricks of the trade, which I've had to implement with my own kids of how do you coax them a little bit further?
Yep.
Or how do you recognize that the day is over and there's an adventure for tomorrow?
Absolutely.
So it's great.
Absolutely.